Okay, y'all, good morning, good Sunday morning. Hope y'all having a God bless Sunday. And you see what the word for today is love, y'all. We're just going to go with that word because there are so many things going on now. You know, the word of God said love covers a multitude of sins, of things. And we know that God is love. So we're going to start this today with love. Come on in. It's time to get Sunday dinner going. Hope y'all having a God bless Sunday. Love you guys. So hold on and we're going to get this dinner going. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Come on in. I'm getting ready to do the meatloaf first. Okay, if you can see my menu today, it's turkey meatloaf, CheesyMesquite chicken casserole. I made that actually yesterday, but I made such a huge pan that I've got enough, so this is like a leftover from yesterday, but nonetheless it's a huge pan full and it's enough for Sunday dinner. Okay, we're gonna have some black-eyed peas, turnip and mustard greens. Remember the other day I showed y'all how to do turnips and mustards, so those are the ones that we're gonna have for the Sunday dinner today. And of course cornbread. Now this is a big old menu, but the only thing I'm really having to cook today, meatloaf, cornbread. Everything else is all ready. So this is going to be an easy breezy Sunday dinner. See how you can just plan things ahead sometime to make it easy on yourself? Because I'm getting older, so I have to learn how to work harder. I'm sorry, not work harder. I have to learn smarter, not harder. And to get things done and still have a good nutritious meal that everybody's going to be smacking their lips about. So this meal's not going to take that long. The meatloaf will take about an hour and a half to cook, probably 15 minutes to put together. But the rest of these items, I just have to pop them out of the fridge and heat them up. So look, remember we talk about leftovers on here all the time. Go in that freezer, see what you already got. I had those black-eyed peas, a big, let me show you. Remember I told y'all, now this is a lot of, this will feed 8 people. This bag of black-eyed peas, got them in a freezer bag, been in the freezer, they thawed out, put them back in the refrigerator, and back in the pot, heat them up, and put them on the table. So these freeze well. And y'all know how I am about throwing away leftovers. I do not throw away leftovers if I don't have to, unless I leave them in too long. So anyway, this is the Sunday dinner menu. Turkey meatloaf, CheesyMesquite chicken casserole, black-eyed peas, turnip and mustard greens, and cornbread. Oh, before I get started on the meatloaf, I know y'all think, oh, she did that hair again. Yep, I bleached the hair again, and as you can see, it's sort of yellow, so I got to go back and tone and get it fixed up. So we'll get the hair straightened out, so when y'all see me again, maybe it'll be the color I want it to be. So let's get going with this dinner. Okay. First of all, I've got my meatloaf. Let's get me some gloves. Got me some gloves here because I'm going to have to make a big old meatloaf loaf to go in my pan here. Okay, I've got 3 pounds of ground turkey. Y'all know I do not use ground beef. I use ground turkey. I mean, I could, but I don't know. How long has it been? About a year now since I used ground beef, I think. I just sort of was cutting back on stuff, you know. And you know, you hear all these different things health-wise about different kinds of meat. So I do eat beef, but I just kind of, and you know, the main thing with the turkey meat is because I love turkey meat. So it tastes good. So this is a lot of ingredients. I like a lot of ingredients in my meatloaf because I want it nice and tasty. This is about 3 cups of veggies. This is a medium onion, a medium bell pepper, 4 stalks of celery, and 3 or 4 of those little orange peppers. I ground them up in my container here, and they are all ready to go. So you're going to put all that in there. Remember now, this is 3 pounds of ground turkey. Okay? Get all my goodies in there. I don't want to leave not one grain in there. Can y'all hear the lawnmower go? I was surprised because we've had so much rain all last week. My lawn person is just coming today to cut my grass. So what can I say? Alrighty. Now, oh, here's my spoons. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of complete seasoning in here. Let's get going. And y'all know this is a little bit extra for me, right? Okay. Okay. That's 1, 2. Okay. Got that going. So got my, and this is I'm gonna put just a teaspoon, a half a tablespoon of this is Paul Prujon's seasoning. There's no salt. You'll notice I'm not putting any salt. I won't put any salt. That complete seasoning does have a little bit of salt content, not a lot. So, and the Paul Prujon is salt free. So you all know I started using that and the Tony Chachere's. I'm out of that one, so I want to use my Paul Prujon seasoning. Don't put a lot of that in there because it has a little bit of kick to it. And this turkey, I'm sorry, curry powder, because I love curry. Y'all know I use these seasonings here. I put about a teaspoon of my curry powder in there. And the same on my turmeric. Oh Lord, I'm just filming away. I don't even have it on. Sorry about that, y'all. I didn't adjust the camera. Borrow the camera, lady. Give us some more training. Okay, here we are. We're in the bowl. Okay, let's backtrack. I've got the 3 pounds of ground turkey in there, and then I put 3 cups of chopped veggies, which I chopped in here. This was full, and so you can see my veggies. They're there, so y'all know. So I chopped this bell pepper, celery, onions, and the green bell pepper and red bell pepper. And I've also put in a teaspoon of curry powder. Now I'm going to put in a teaspoon of, you know it, turmeric. Love turmeric. I believe in its medicinal properties, so I use it faithfully. And I use it in coffee. I use it to cook with. It's just a good flavor that I love, love, love. Okay, this is a couple. Y'all gonna believe me. A couple of tablespoons of teriyaki. We just like all this good flavor in this meatloaf, and I do this in beef or turkey. It doesn't matter. You want the flavor. Now you know you gotta have some garlic in there. So here's my minced garlic. I am going to do a couple tablespoons of minced garlic in there. I will measure that because I need to dip it with the spoon. So that's 1 and a 2. Y'all know I do the real tablespoons and real teaspoons. I don't play around with it. No, I do not. And you remember now, this is 3 pounds of meat, so it needs lots of seasoning. And besides, this is the way I make the meatloaf for the family. So one of my meatloaf lovers is going to be here today. TJ, or Man. He loves meatloaf. Whew. Whenever I do his, and I'm going to put a teaspoon of black pepper in here. Whenever I do his favorite meal, you know I do favorite meals for everybody's birthday. Meatloaf is always on the menu because he loves meatloaf. He's my meatloaf baby. Loves it. And you know, this kid, I'm telling you, these my teenage grandchildren, and you know, Lauren is my great-grandchild. These kids have grown up, and one day I'm gonna do a picture. I'm gonna do a little picture thing. I think I'll do that one day next week to get me out of the kitchen. I just want to do a picture collage of how my babies have grown so big over time, and I am just flabbergasted. So I don't forget, since I saw this, I'm going to go ahead and spray my pan. I just like to do that. Okay, pan spray. Okay, I want y'all to just be able to look at my babies, how they've grown over time. Excuse me a minute. Excuse my reach. I got to reach up here and get my breadcrumbs. Ooh, I almost didn't have enough. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in, this is a half a cup of breadcrumbs, okay? And I think that's about enough, because I'm going to put an egg in there. Because you know, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing it too, because you know, turkey meat is kind of soft. Its consistency is really soft. So you have to put some breadcrumbs in it. And I'm also going to put a couple eggs in it, because you want something to hold it and sort of give it a little bit of firmness, okay? Okay, so I gotta go to the fridge to get me a couple eggs. Sous chef didn't take my stuff out ahead of time. But that's okay, we love her anyway. Now, even though ground turkey is soft, you know, ground turkey does not have a lot of, doesn't have any fat hardly. I think it's 97%. So I always put me a half a cup of olive oil, which is nice and healthy. I'm trying to stay healthy, trying to keep on my health quest. This is so your meat won't be all dried out. I don't like dried out meat, and I'm sure you don't either. If you never had meatloaf, you need to get it the right way if you're going to make this one. Ooh, I got a chunk of bell pepper. We're going to leave it. Somebody will get lucky on that bite. Okay. Now, let's see. Like I said before, I hope you all are having a God bless Sunday. So, now that we got all the ingredients in the meatloaf, I'm going to take my egg and before I put it in there, I'm going to put it in a container and beat it up. I think I can go ahead and dish pan, as my mama say, dish pan them spoons. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I said I get so distracted when I'm trying to cook or do stuff, and if there's something on the floor, or you know, too much stuff gets dropped on the countertop, I can't go on. I just can't go on, y'all. I have to stop, and I have to do a little cleanup type thing, which is what I got to do right now, because I'm looking at, give me some paper towels here. I'm looking right now at something that needs to be wiped, and I cannot focus on what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Turn away from me. I can't focus on what I'm doing with stuff like this. Okay, let's just get that off the counter. Wipe that all off, honey. And you know what? I'm not a fanatic. I'm not a OCD. I'm not all that. It's just that it's just something. I guess you could call it one of my pet peeves. I talked about pet peeves the other day. I guess you could say this is one of my pet peeves. It's not to have stuff all over the place when I'm trying to. Okay, I'm gonna put that egg in there, and that's gonna help hold this meatloaf together, y'all. And I'm gonna get it mixed in, because I'm gonna get my hands in here in a few minutes. I'm gonna get me a pair of gloves, and I'm gonna get my hands into it now. And then, as I get my hands into it, we're going to talk about what's going on. Y'all know we got to get that in for today, because things are heating up. And you remember we talked the other day about how when things are happening, no matter what it is, if it's just in your home or whatever, if you got some negative things going on, they all got to be flushed out. All of it's got to come out so we can get some resolution. So it's no different than all the things that are going on around today. Some of this stuff has been going on for years and years. Some of it's new. Same thing in your life. You got to get that old mess cleaned up before you get the new mess cleaned up, because when you put new on top of old, remember what that scripture says? I might not know where it is, but I know what it says. It says you cannot put new wine in old wine sacks. Otherwise, it's not going to hold. It's not going to hold. Absolutely isn't going to hold. And that's what's going on now. Things are falling apart now because we haven't resolved all that old stuff that we should have got rid of a long time ago on this earth and in our personal lives. That's why there are sons and daughters that still cannot talk to each other and don't know why. These young boys that can't talk to the daddy, and they think it's because the daddy refused to buy them a little old Hot Wheels car, but he bought his new girlfriend's son one, but he didn't buy him one. Okay, that ain't the issue. the issue is you got to go all the way back to the root of what that problem is, because now you have to understand this. Long before you came along, and probably only into while you were young to know what was going on, mom and daddy were having some little issues that they never got rid of, and they still sniping at each other. So who gets the brunt? Poor little children sitting in the middle. So if we don't resolve those old issues, they will sit on top of the new issues and make you think that that new issue is the issue, but it's not. Now, I hope you hear what I'm saying, and for those of you who have gone through some things, and those of you who are interested in getting some things resolved, you will hear what I'm saying and understand that you have to get rid of that old mess that's going on in your life before you can resolve the new mess in your life. And rarely is the new mess the core. The core is that stuff that happened way back a long time ago. Why is my mama or my daddy treating me like this? Because something happened way back a long time ago. It doesn't have much to do with you at all. So if you are, and usually, you know, unfortunately, we don't know these things until we are grown and become adults and trying to move forward, and something is still pulling and tugging. So that's why I've been saying for the last year almost, or maybe 6 months, I won't exaggerate, reconcile your differences with your family, with your friends, with your loved one, your husband, your wife, your sisters, your brothers, your cousin, your stepmama, stepdad, whomever. Go back and resolve those issues. Reconcile those differences, so when new stuff comes along, then you have a reference point. You can say, okay, I know that way back when, so this and that and the third happened, so something new, oh, I understand why. It doesn't mean it's right, wrong, indifferent. Doesn't mean I'm going to forgive it right, but at least I can understand, because the Word of God says to us, in all of your getting, get an understanding. So you can know all these things. Yeah, my daddy ran around, and my mama ran around, and my auntie didn't like me, or so-and-so kicked me, such and such stole my notebook. We know all the information, but do we understand the information that we know? So those are the things we have to go through. Even what we're going through right here, right now, with this crisis, with this virus situation, we know a lot of stuff, but guess what? Even the scientists and whatnot don't understand it all. So we have got to get an understanding of what's going on. All of this violence that's going on now, these young men and young women that are being killed and maimed and humiliated and publicly just taken down to the ground, and just all kinds of things being done to. We know, we see, but do we understand why? Do we understand why? And when we don't understand the thing, it spurns all other kinds of things. So that is why now we are seeing people, you know, as far as the virus is concerned, that choose not to wear the mask, not to social distance, to burn, to steal, and to tear up stuff. We got to understand, we got to get an understanding of that before we can get to the bottom of it. And it's out there, and every, you know, for people who have experienced it before, who have gone through some of these things before, you know, there are people that's been through pandemics that are still living. There are people who've gone through race riots and just all kinds of riots and unsettled protests and all this, and people who've gone through peaceful protests. You know, you understand, but you see, the vast majority does not. And it only takes 2 or 3 people to upset that whole apple cart. Because I noticed one thing, when this virus thing broke out here in the United States, when we were asked to wear a mask, we knew what the implications were, but we didn't understand the full effect of it. And I noticed that as we begin to understand better why we need to wear masks, the vast majority of us put those masks on, put those gloves on, wash those hands every time. And the ones that did not and that still do not, they don't yet understand what the impact is. And some people, it took them being stricken or a loved one being stricken or somebody they knew really well up close and personal being stricken before they understood. And that is such a tragedy. That is such a tragedy. And I just, I can't say enough. Pray without ceasing that those of us who don't understand, and I don't understand all of it. I'm not trying to stand here and say I understand everything, but I understand enough to know that what I don't understand, I can pray about it and ask God for wisdom and ask Him to order my steps, to make a way for me to know and understand, and to do the same for my sisters and my brothers and for the people that are around me. Because I want everybody to know what's the right thing. Because I have to live on this earth too. I live right here in North Carolina, and I need people in North Carolina to know and understand what is going on and why it's going on. I want people to know and understand. That's why it's not difficult for me to say I love you. It's not difficult at all. It's not difficult for me to say pray without ceasing to someone. It's just not hard, because that is my prayer for everybody to be on the same page. Because again, you go back to your word, and the word of God said, my people will perish for the lack of knowledge. And then he goes on to say, and all you're getting understanding. So when you get the knowledge, then you got to take the time to understand the knowledge that you got so that you won't perish. I have a vested interest in that. I really do. And I know that it all starts with love. That's a cliche. It might seem corny, but honey, I know what love is. I know what love is about. I know what it ain't about. I know what it is to love and be loved. And I know what it is to not be loved. And I know what it is to not love something or someone. I know on both sides. And I still fall short. So that's why we have to work at it. That's why we have to pray without ceasing every day. I don't care what color you are, what kind of car you drive, how many clothes you got, don't got, whatever. I don't care. How much Botox you can get this month, how many millions of dollars you got. We have to learn to pray without ceasing. We have to be thankful in all things. We have to allow the Lord to abide in us. And the only way that we're going to do it is through prayer. And I think God gave us the easiest way to do it, but it's the hardest thing, seem like, for us to do sometimes. He gave us the Lord's Prayer. If you can't think of one on your own, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. If we could just say that prayer on a daily basis. If we could remember the 23rd Psalm. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because thou art with me. But we have to believe those things from within our heart. Y'all notice I'm having my own little church right here in my kitchen, trying to do this meatloaf. Y'all can get me off if y'all want this meatloaf done. I'm telling you, every time I turn on my TV and look at all that's going on in this world, it tears me from one end to the other, because I have 20-odd grandsons, granddaughters, people that I love, that have not begun to live their life. I've lived 71 years. I want to live till I'm 107. But with all this stuff going on, let me tell you something, y'all. It's getting mighty close. I can feel the heat on the back of my neck. I am very interested in people doing the right thing. Do we do the right thing all the time? No. That is why God gave us grace and mercy. And He said we could have it every day, whenever we need it. 7 times 70. Forgive. Do what we have to do. And people say, oh, I don't believe all that. Well, what do you believe? I'd rather believe that than to believe nothing, or to believe my little blanked out a bit of knowledge that I have in as much as salvation, because I have no ability to save anybody. I have not that ability. And if anybody walking on this earth has that ability, then oh well. I mean, I don't know who it is, and I ain't trying to mess with that. But I know I don't. So when I'm standing here speaking, I'm sharing, because this is me. This is how I feel. This is what I feel. This is what I feel like sharing, because I know one thing, like I say, I know what it feels like to be loved. And I know what it feels like not to be loved. But when you get to that crossword, you have to know that God is love. And if don't nobody else, no other entity or being love you, God loves you because he made you. That's what I tell my children all the time. I love you. You are a part of me. You came from me. God gave me the ability to reproduce a child from my body. I love you. And people who I know and love and become acquainted with and befriend, I love you. Now, do my children do things that irk me? Do I do things that irk them? Yeah. We all do that. But the point is, you have to love people. And when you love people and respect people, then you know you got to do what God says. Forgive because I forgave you. We got to remember those things when it comes to living this life. And this is, people talking about end times. Yeah, we've been going through end times for a long time, but we don't understand that realm of time. We just don't. We just know, but we don't know except that things are getting, you're thinking, what more can happen? A whole lot more is going to happen. So that's why I always say, pray without ceasing. Y'all, I'm getting ready to jump off of my Sunday morning soapbox and get back to this meatloaf, because I got to put the rest of these ingredients in there. So now, I've got all of my ingredients, and y'all please take what I say to heart and share it with somebody. Encourage people to look at these videos, if not for the cooking, but for the word. Because I'm telling you, these words bless me and they'll bless you. And so is this meatloaf gonna bless you when you learn how to make it, because I know my family's gonna love it this afternoon. So I'm gonna get back to my meatloaf. Okay, now I'm gonna move my menu board. Two last things that I've got here. I got some tomato sauce and some tomato paste, or tomato as my girl Barb would say. Tomato paste, tomato sauce. Okay, by the way, I went well, I told y'all last week, Barbara and one other friend and I had a nice little brunch on Barb's porch, which was just wonderful. She's just the bee's knees, as they say. The cat's meow. I'm just going to put about a couple of tablespoons of these tomatoes into my meatloaf. How's that? Okay. Then I'm also going to put you know what I had said, what I'm supposed to really be doing with this. I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I need to get the meatloaf in the oven. Come on, that's enough, because I don't, like I said, this meatloaf mixture is soft, but when the heat hits it, it will firm up tremendously. Okay, so okay, people, got everything in here. Now, I think I need to put one more thing of my complete seasoning. Just one more little potato. I get so worked up. Just about another teaspoon. Sometimes I get so worked up when it comes to certain things. I'm telling you, I do. I really do. And all this unrest has got me worked up, y'all. And I try not to, because you know what? Because when you get too worked up, you get in your flesh and get caught up, and we get beside ourselves a little bit. Now y'all know what I always do when I'm making a mixture like this. I have got to put a little bit in my ramekin and run it through the microwave so I can see what it tastes like. Okay. I'm gonna make sure. See, I'm not one of these people that just cook it and just go on with it, because y'all know me. I'm always reinventing the meatloaf. Okay. minute to 45 seconds. You know what I was going to put in here, but I don't want to get too carried away with putting. Oh, you know what I can do though? Well, I'm not going to do that because it may taste good to me and not to others. Bacon bits. You know what? I put bacon bits on that casserole last night. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that crunch that it gave that casserole, second to none, y'all. So keep mixing this and make sure it's mixed up really good. Okay, Man's gonna be so excited when he get over here today. I said, Grandma, you made my favorite. He's such a big old teddy bear. Okay, let me see who's at the door. Okay, y'all, hold on just a minute. That's my young man. I done adopted him. He's a nice guy. Let me go up here. I need to pay him. So y'all hold on just a minute. Okay, y'all. I don't mean to brag, but this meatloaf is perfect. I'm serious, y'all. Absolutely perfect. It's not browned, but that's the texture. That's it. It's ready. Now all I gotta do, let me just eat this little piece. That's good to me, y'all. I love some meatloaf. And I love a good meatloaf. That's a good meatloaf. That's a good meaty meatloaf. I need it. See how I added that extra teaspoon? Like I say, you have to know your food. Honey. That's gonna be some good eating. And look at here. I'm hoping I have some left over. And the good thing about this meatloaf, you'll see. It's gonna have to cook a couple of hours, y'all. Couple of hours. Okay, let's get it right on up here. And there's no need in me to try to do nothing, but just put it right on here in this pan. Like so. Like so. Gonna be perfect fit for this pan. Okay, I've already got my oven preset to 375, and like I said, it's going to take a couple hours. I'm going to cook it on 375 for a couple hours. And I'm just going to take this gloved hand here, and I'm just going to form it a little bit. And because this is a meatloaf and I need space around here, so that when I put in, I'm going to put some, I'll make my tomato sauce that goes on it. It's going to make me some space around it. Okay. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she lovely? Tanya, you like that. I heard, I know you wanted to background me on that. She said, she just think I just don't have, I can't get a tune, but it's okay. I'm still trying. I'm gonna always try to have a tune, y'all. Okay, now that's our meatloaf. There's enough space. The space is mainly going to be on these corners, so when I pour my sauce, you have a little bit of sauce to dip out. How about that? Because when you put it all the way around, you won't have any little extra sauce. You know what? Because I've got that mac and cheese, and I might have, you know what? And because I got black-eyed peas, I might as well go do just a little bit of rice. That's what I'm going to do. Do a little bit of rice. Okay, that's my meatloaf. That is my meatloaf. Okay. Okay. She's ready. She is ready to go into the oven. Alrighty then. I'm gonna put her in uncovered. Why am I referring to this meatloaf as a her? I don't know. Anyway, let's just do this. I want to get this off of here. See, that's one of another distractor. Even though nobody even never knew that was there, it's just a distractor for me. Okay. Now the other thing that I'm going to do for her, or for the meatloaf, I'm going to take my butter spray. I'm just going to spray the top of it just like so. Okay. Spray that baby right on up. Okay. Now she's ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put it in uncovered. Okay. There it goes. And let's time her. And of course, I'll look at it. I'll look at the meatloaf before the 2 hours. I'll look at it at the hour and 30-minute time frame. And if it needs to come out, I'll take it out at that time. But I'm thinking 3 pounds, I believe, might need. And you figure now, with this meatloaf, there was 3 pounds of ground turkey. And then the other ingredients, probably another pound. So you got like 4 pounds, a 4-pound meatloaf in that oven, okay? So, let's get a cleanup. Well, you know what? Before I start cleaning up, let me go ahead and make my sauce to go in there, okay? So what I'm going to do, hold on just a sec for me. I'm going to need, and you know what, like I said, this meal is going so quick and so easy, and there's so little work in it. I'm almost not knowing how to act, y'all. So if I seem a little jittery, it's because the meatloaf is done. That's the work. That was the work. The next thing that I've got to do that will require work, guess what? Making some corn muffins. How hard is that to do? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that knocked out too. Okay, so let's go ahead. I got my little pan here, and I am going to, well, I don't need it now. But what I'm going to do first, what I need to do first, I need to put some tomatoes. Okay. Some tomato sauce. Okay. And I need to put well, about, okay, so this was, let's see, a 14-ounce can of chopped tomatoes, or however, but they need to be chopped. It doesn't matter really, because you're gonna put them, you need to put them in the blender. A teaspoon of not a teaspoon, about a teaspoon of complete seasoning. Get my turmeric in there, because turmeric goes well with tomatoey stuff. Put my little turmeric in there. Okay, and I'm gonna put some black pepper. A half teaspoon of turmeric, half teaspoon of black pepper. Oh, I gotta give you all the ingredients because it's for the tomatoes. Okay, a 14-ounce can of chopped tomatoes, and 7 ounces of tomato sauce or paste, whichever one you have, preferably sauce. Then we're going to put in teaspoon of garlic. Okay, wait for it, y'all. Teaspoon of teriyaki, same ingredients. And the one ingredient that I'm going to put in here that I don't have in my meatloaf, hold on, well, 2 ingredients actually. Actually, 2 ingredients. I'm coming. Tablespoon of brown sugar. How's that? Okay, I'm coming right back. I gotta get me some flour going here. I need about a tablespoon of flour. Did I say table? I mean teaspoon. Teaspoon of flour, just to give it a little bit of thickness outside of the thickness of the tomatoes and the tomato paste. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to put it on my bullet. Let me see, where's my I'm not seeing my blades. I cleaned everything last night. Kareem and I had smoothies the other day. Well, day before yesterday. Well, don't you just not like it whenever you know you have it? But see, this is what happened. This is one reason in a small kitchen you have to put everything back into place. But if you don't, honey, chaos will sit in on you. That's one reason why I have to be very, very particular to put stuff. And you know what? I don't know why I'm not seeing my blade for my bullet. Okay, blade. Hang on just a minute. I'm wasting tape. Let me find my blade. Okay, blade. Okay, y'all. I'm back. Just wanted to go ahead and get my tomato sauce ready. I'm just going to leave it in this little mixing cup here because all I'm going to do with it when I get ready to use it is just pour it right over that meatloaf and put it back in the oven for about 30 minutes and let that sauce bake on it. Again, you know, for meatloaf, you got to have some kind of sauce, either a brown sauce or red sauce. We prefer the red, at least I prefer making the red sauce. So we're going to just leave it just like it is. I might even get smart and slice some onions and make like a tomato gravy. But for right now, I'm going to leave it just like that with the tomato sauce, tomatoes, all of my seasons, my garlic powder, my minced garlic, and my teriyaki sauce, and my complete seasoning, and black pepper. And of course a little dash of turmeric is in there. So we're going to sit this off to the side until that meatloaf finishes cooking, and when it gets done, we're going to go ahead and put the sauce on. Okay, so y'all hang on, and I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to whip up some corn muffins here shortly, and we're going to have this meal way ready for the flavor train, honey, because it'll be a little while before they get here. It's just like, I think they'll probably be here another couple hours because it's going to be like 4 o'clock when they get here. So we got plenty of time. It's only like 2:30 somewhere along in there. So I can go ahead and put away all of my ingredients and get my muffin tin in view and ready. Get my pan spray. Get that out of my way. I'm putting stuff in the fridge. I'm coming right back, y'all. Okay, so let me get my, you know what, I got a lot of stuff. You know what, I got it set up right here on my counter. Hang on 1 minute. Okay, y'all, I'm back. The meatloaf is 30 minutes away from being complete. I'm going to go ahead now and just start pouring my sauce over it. Pour. And then what I'm going to do is put it back in the oven uncovered, because what I did, I forgot to say, what I did do, I had it uncovered for the first 45 minutes, and then up to the next point, I put the cover back on and let it make sure it cooked well in between. So we got enough little tomato gravy, and I decided not to do all that's good. Now I'm gonna put it back into the oven with no covering on it. I'm just gonna let it sit in there and just cook. And now got my corn muffins out. My muffins out.
Okay, you know what you gotta do? You gotta ask your DL
Okay.
for the call, okay?
Put it in there, and I'm gonna up that heat to 400 degrees to glaze that.
Okay, now try to stay out of trouble.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and up it. So, what I'm gonna do, let's see, I might be able to go ahead and flip these. No, they're not ready. I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna let them cool a little bit before I try to flip them. I'm sure they'll come out, but I'm gonna let them cool a little bit first. I think they just stuck slightly on the bottom, and I'm gonna tap them. Tap them a little bit. Yeah, that one is. Okay. A couple of them might just be stuck a little bit. That one's okay.
We're brave, honest.
I just want to get them out of here. I don't want to.
See, she knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, y'all talking about
that one broke. That might be the one I have to eat. How about that? Okay. That was good. Okay. They're all cooperating. These are real hot, so I'm gonna sort of leave these alone. Okay. I'm gonna let them sit there and cool, and then see what happens. Really, the reason that was good. Put that on top like that. When you have one that breaks on you, just take it and turn it over just like so. Tilt it and sit it like that. And you're gonna have one or two that breaks on you, so we're gonna leave them alone for now. Okay. And I'll put this like that. Okay, we'll be back shortly, y'all. Just 1 second, let me shoot my last little bit. Okay, y'all, dinner is served. The greens, that's the turnip and mustard greens, the leftover black-eyed peas, that beautiful, wonderful, scrumptious turkey meatloaf with that tomato sauce, and that's my leftover smoked chicken and cheese casserole, and of course the corn muffins. So everything is ready. We're ready to sit back, relax, and enjoy this meal. This was an easy breezy meal, y'all. Part of it I cooked one day, part of it I cooked another day, and part of it I cooked 2 days. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for continuing to pray without ceasing, and thank y'all for encouraging me and continue to tune into my channel. So listen, y'all, until I decide to cook again or sit down and talk with you again, keep those prayers going up now so the blessings will continue to come down. Love y'all. Toodaloo.